Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Skycast, the podcast from Skydiving Puria Brava. Today our guest is Dani Roman, who is a wingsuiter, a skydiver and a Red Bull athlete, and we are going to be talking with him about sponsorship in the sport of skydiving. So first of all, Dani, thank you very much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me in the podcast. It's a really cool initiative what you're doing and super interesting themes with the people, so thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to start a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, you started out as a tunnel instructor, is that correct? And how was your growth in this sport?
Yeah, so actually I never thought about being a tunnel instructor. I started as a skydiver. It was a childhood dream. And I started with 18. I did the IFF course in Skydive Ligio. So I started as a skydiver. I became an instructor there, and I worked for a couple of years in Skydive Ligio. And then after that, I moved to Dubai, and I made the switch. So I started the tunnel. I became a tunnel instructor, and then I was in tunnel instructor for like 3-4 years, and then I did the switch again to work back in a drop tunnel.
Again as an instructor.
Again as an instructor, yeah. Yeah.
And then how did your career, I guess, take a more professional term, for lack of better definition?
Yeah, so basically in Ligio I did IFF and tandem. I moved to Dubai, and the first couple of years I was like kind of full on with the tunnel. We were working in the tunnel as an instructor, but we also got selected to do the four-way team and represent the UAE in a four-way dynamic. So I'm super grateful that I was there in that time, that we were able to fly a lot. So we were flying a lot, and we did the Skydynamic team. That is when we started doing competition, four-way dynamic competitions. And then after that, we did a couple of competitions, and then the third year in Dubai, I think it was, I started to work also on the drop zone. So I was working evenings in the tunnel, morning at the drop zone, also as an IFF, free flight coach and wingsuit coach. And then after a while, so I was in Dubai for in total, I think 4 years. I was a bit kind of done with the tunnel. I kind of wanted to do something else, to dedicate more into skydiving and travel and see the world, because that's one of these amazing things that you have with the skydiving, Like it can take you anywhere, you can work anywhere, and you meet such an amazing people in this sport, So after that, I moved to Norway. For the summer to skydive Boss, where I did some seasons, and basically it has been like that, Like in Boss, I started to do IFF, but I also started to do some projects with the Team One Call. So it was super nice because I did some projects there, started to travel, and then started doing my own thing, traveling around after that.
And is that when, I guess, your relations to sponsors began, when you were in Boss?
So actually, I never really thought about, sponsors and things like that. I've been doing what I love to do and do what I enjoy doing, and I didn't even really thought that would be to have a sponsor, like Red Bull or something like that would be even possible, was something that is like so far out there that I couldn't even imagine that, My first contact, I think, with the sponsors, that was Red Bull, was 2016 or something like that. And I was in Norway already, and that I started to do some different projects with Team One Call. I was doing some also because what I was doing, I was really motivated with the free flying because I was coming from the tunnel, but also really motivated with the wingsuit, and I kind of wanted to mix both. So I was kind of doing a bit of wingsuit, free flying, and kind of different stuff with the wingsuit. And that was the first contact that I got with them after some projects in Norway.
So they were sponsoring the project more than the person, do I understand correctly?
So that was the first contact because it called their attention what I was doing,
okay.
So they don't really sponsor the project. They were interested of what I was doing. So basically, the first contact was like, hey man, how you doing? What are you doing? So basically, that was 2 years before I got sponsored by them. And then basically, I was kind of showing them, or they asked me what I was doing, and I showed them what I was doing and what I had in mind. So it was something that they were interested. and something that they follow up for, I think it was like a year and a half or 2 years until it became a reality.
Well, first of all, good for you, because that must be a really big satisfaction to have somebody believe in you.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
that.
It's a dream come true, obviously. Yeah.
But how does, I know in other sports, the sponsorizations usually have the suppliers, which are the people that give you the skis if you're a skier, the equipment, and then there's the sponsors that are the ones that support your projects or your competition. Is that how it works in skydiving as well?
I mean, skydiving, normally, yeah, you can have a sponsor that is like a skydiving, like a canopy brand or a container brand or helmets that they facilitate you the material, and it's not really no money involved. Or it's like, but for us, it's something that we are happy to represent. It's something that we use every day, and it's something really useful for us. No, so you have those kind of sponsorship, and it's other sponsorship that is definitely harder to get. That is a sponsorship that they help you to make your dreams come true, let's say, no? So you have an idea and they share the vision with you, so like a partner that they share the same vision with you and they help you develop that dream. Huh?
But so the way it works is that you come up with an idea, propose it, and they support you in or what does it look like to be an athlete that has a sponsor? Like, what's the relationship with the sponsor like?
Yeah, so for me, basically, it's more like a sponsor, it's like a partner, you know? So basically, in the beginning of the year, actually in the end of the year, I told them, like, hey guys, like next year, these are my goals. I would like to get these projects done. I would like to jump in these places. And if they like it, it's like, man, we think this is really cool. We want to help you with it. So then they help you to make that true, no? So they help you with the training, they help you with the permits, you know, and having a brand like that behind in your back, you know, like helping you, it's really useful, you know. It's not the same to go to a government to ask for a permit to jump, to fly through a tower and this and that. If it's you by yourself, or if you have a big company, you know, a big brand, a big partner like that behind you, you know, it gives you a lot of credibility. Yeah?
So they also, not only financially, but they also logistically allow you to do things that otherwise would
I mean, that's the biggest thing, you know, like for me, it would have been impossible to do a lot of the projects that I did. It would have been no way if they are not there supporting and they are there like trusting us, of course.
Because there are some things that are logistically, I mean, some of the projects you've done are logistically, aside from the financial aspect, they're quite complex in locations where otherwise that's correct, right?
Yeah, I think now the social media, it gives us a little bit of a bad, you know, we see the 15-second clip and we're like, oh, it's just a jump through a tower and this and that, or jump through this and that's it, you know, and it is, it's just that, you know. But the work behind, you know, but it's not only me, you know, it's the work behind from a lot of people asking for permits, you know, talking with the government, getting the approval of landing in a road, you know. It's a lot of work behind, also for us, the training, you know. So, but we don't really see that with social media now. We don't really see it, but it's a big team behind that help us to make the projects true.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think you see the 15-second tip of the iceberg, which is it's the biggest part, but it's actually the smallest part in terms. How long does it take you when you do a special project? How long is the preparation?
Look, I give you an example now with Fred Fugen. We did the project in Bahrain, where we flew through some towers. And that took 2 years. 2 years since the first time we spoke about it till the moment we did it. So, and it was a lot of pushing from us, like pushing to make the permits happen. Trips to Bahrain, I think we went like 5 times to Bahrain to make that happen, you know. So it took around 2 years and the effort of a lot of people, for sure.
Okay, so again, the 15 seconds are really the tiny little tip of the iceberg.
But and it's really cool that it takes that long, you know, and this, because you get there and it's a huge satisfaction to make it happen. And it's a lot of learning, you know. You learn how to make permits, you learn how to have a permit for landing, to fly through a building, a filming permit, and then how to get a drone into the country, you know. It's a lot of things that you learn, and it's a really interesting process.
Because you guys are involved, the athletes are involved in all the phases, right?
Yes.
So you participate in actually putting together. Yeah, I can imagine the satisfaction of actually landing after. And
yeah, for sure. It's amazing now. Yeah.
But, and just switching it kind of from the other side, how do you think that having sponsors like Red Bull, so brands that are known, how does it help? Does it help a sport grow?
Look, like right now, I really believe that it's the only brand at the moment that is helping the athletes to make like their big dreams come true. You know, that they really like last year, I think October, we post a video. They post a video on YouTube that was the biggest obstacle course made in skydiving.
Yes.
So I'm base jumping, aerial obstacle course, and we worked on that for 4 years. You know,
Wow.
And if you think about it, a brand that is making a video that it takes 4 years planning, 2 years filming, you know, for what? It's marketing for them, but it's not going to be the biggest marketing for them. You know, skydiving is very little known in the world. You know, it's not huge. You know, they're not going to get a huge marketing. It's not going to explode like football or like another sport. It's a very niche sport. You know, and actually that they let us do all those obstacles, you know, all that project, all that logistic, invest that money, you know, just for us to have fun pretty much, you know. So like be part of that and have a partner like that let us do that is insane. Like we're super grateful for sure. Huh?
Yeah, and which gives visibility also, I think, at least from what I see from the outside, it gives, I guess, professionality to a sport which unfortunately is often just thought of a bunch of crazy people that jump out of airplanes.
Exactly.
And people don't realize that actually it's not.
Yeah.
It's everything but that. I mean, especially with the high-end projects that you guys do, it's not I wake up in the morning and I go do it. It's what you said, 2 years, 4 years of preparation, of training. So I think it kind of, at least from what I see, these kinds of sponsorships do help the sport in that they show that it's something more professional, that again, that it's not just an improvised thing.
100%. I really honestly think that they are pushing the sport and they are creating things that without them will be impossible, like, for sure.
Exactly. But how the sponsorizations with you do just with them, you do just wingsuit, or it's everything? Like,
No,
is it specific?
So basically, as a Red Bull athlete, you know, I'm a skydiver. And in skydiving, I do free fly, I do wingsuit, I do base jumping, and I do different stuff. So normally what I do is like yearly I have some projects in mind that they are my dream, my bigger goals.
In all the different disciplines.
Yeah, it could be anything, you know. It could be like Bahrain was or the bridge or that. So different goals that I want to achieve, different projects. And I also have demo jumps. So yearly I have some number of demo jumps that I have to do, and that could
which is events organized by Red Bull where your presence is requested.
Exactly. So it could be a Red Bull event, or it could be another event like a motor race or this and that, when normally they request us to do some jumps there, to do a demo jump for that event, and it's also super fun because we get to jump in I got to jump the frame in Dubai 2 months ago, so that was crazy. I got to jump in a Formula 1 circuit, you know, in Bahrain. So it's really cool, though. So it's part of the job, but it's not the worst job.
No, and again, it also gives visibility to the sport, because having Red Bull sponsored athletes that are jumping in a Formula 1, it kind of gives it a different vibe.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite projects? What's the favorite thing that you've done?
It's hard to say, you know, because we do, you know, doesn't have to be the hardest or this and that, you know, like some jumps that I enjoy a lot, you know. I enjoy the Bahrain, I enjoy the obstacle course, I enjoy the bridge, I enjoy a two-way with some friends here, you know. I enjoy jumping with, you know, like I enjoy pretty much every jump. It's special. It's hard to choose one, of course.
But do you feel like, does having the relationship with a sponsor, does it make it feel more like work, or does it just keep staying the thing that I wanted to do when I grew up that I can now do wherever I want, whenever I want?
Doesn't feel like work at the moment. It feels pretty fun. It feels pretty fun for sure, and it opens. For me, I feel like a lot of gates are open now to do stuff that I want to do, and long-term goals that I have, and short-term goals that they are more reachable now.
But do you think that sponsorization, in a lot of sports, sponsorization is the reason why the sport can continue. For example, if you think Formula One, do you think realistically that skydiving will ever have a level of sponsorization that isn't limited to a few athletes? Like, do you think a skydiving event will ever be sponsorized by external sponsors, not industry sponsors?
I mean, it could happen, but at the moment it's very niche, no? At the moment, skydiving is very niche. Yes, gaining popularity slowly, of course, but at the moment it's very niche, but it could happen, of course.
Yeah, and I think it's thanks to people like you and brands like Red Bull that believe in it, that they can show that actually, I mean, it has an at least incredible communication potential. It's powerful, it's passion. I mean, I can see it in your eyes when you talk about your projects, they light up. So I'm going to ask you, we're almost out of time, so it's going to be one last question. What would your advice be to somebody that wants to kind of go in your direction to become a sponsored athlete in the world of skydiving? What would your advice to them be?
I would say do what you like to do, you know, even if you don't think it will reach a sponsor, this and that. Do what you like to do and do it full on, you know. Like, if you really believe in something, you really want it, go for it, you know. You really go for it. Like, no, I'm not gonna make this money, I'm not gonna get this. No, if you really want it, like if you are passionate about it and you are sure that you want it, just go full in.
Yeah, that's let yourself be driven by passion.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Dani, thank you very much for taking the time to be here with us today. Thank you to all of you for watching, and stay tuned. The next episode of Skycast soon.